Well, I think cybersecurity, cyber warfare will be one of the biggest challenges facing the next president, because clearly we're facing at this point two different kinds of adversaries. There are the independent hacking groups that do it mostly for commercial reasons, to try to steal information that they then can use to make money. But increasingly, we are seeing cyber attacks coming from states, organs of states. The most recent and troubling of these has been Russia. There's no doubt now that Russia has used cyber attacks against all kinds of organizations in our country, and I am deeply concerned about this. I know Donald's very praiseworthy of Vladimir Putin, but Putin is playing a really tough, long game here. And one of the things he's done is to let loose cyber attackers to hack into government files, to hack into personal files, hack into the Democratic National Committee. And we've recently have learned that, that this is one of their preferred methods of trying to wreak havoc and collect information. We need to make it very clear, whether it's Russia, China, Iran, or anybody else, the United States has much greater capacity. And we are not going to sit idly by and permit state actors to go after our information, our private sector information or our public sector information. And we're going to have to make it clear that we don't want to use the kinds of tools that we have. We don't want to engage in a different kind of warfare, but we will defend the citizens of this country. And the Russians need to understand that. I think they've been treating it as almost a probing. How far would we go? How much would we do? And that's why I was so shocked when Donald publicly invited Putin to hack into Americans. That is just unacceptable. It's one of the reasons why 50 national security officials who served in Republican administration have said that Donald is unfit to be the commander in chief. It's comments like that that really worry people who understand the threats that we face.
It's time to wake up, America. Do some research and look at this. Look at the facts. This is the most crooked person I've ever seen in my life running to be president, and still allowed, not disqualified or prosecuted. It's just absolutely sickening. Do your research.
But increasingly, we are seeing cyber attacks coming from states, organs of states. The most recent and troubling of these has been Russia. There's no doubt now that Russia has used cyber attacks against all kinds of organizations in our country, and I am deeply concerned about this.
No, you're not concerned about any of that. You're concerned about yourself and the public getting word and knowledge of your lies being exposed and the truth coming out.
Of warfare, but we will defend the citizens of this country.
But you will defend the citizens of this country. I don't think so. You are ass backwards. More like you are jeopardizing the innocent lives of citizens of this country, making such accusations to Russia that aren't even true. And even if they were true, it's not a big deal. They are showing the Americans the truth. A patriot duty.
I was so shocked when Donald publicly invited Putin to hack into Americans. That is just unacceptable.
No, what's unacceptable is you paying off Mr. Shill, 10-head, alien head, Lester Holtz at the debate you're talking at right now. Hey, what's up, guys? The Hye Farm here. Just wanted to make a quick little video to kind of include some of this election nonsense that's been going off about the cyber attacks and all that. So anyways, here is a map with the areas that are showing cyber attacks or the downed internet that's getting shut off in multiple places and coming back on and getting shut back off. Me over here in California, so far, personally, I haven't had any problems. I don't know about anyone else around in the area, but part of it could be possibly because I don't have normal internet like cable or DSL or anything like that. I've got Verizon satellite internet, so maybe that has a factor playing a part in it. I don't know. But anyways, that's the map, so you can see the areas that are really hit hot spots. But what I really wanted to show you guys is basically a live feed of cyber attacks worldwide and what's going on. So I got a couple different ones to show you, but I want to start off with this one first here. So basically this one here is just showing them shooting off all over the place, from one place to the next. And as you could see, most of the activity is in the United States. So it's just going off like crazy. These are all live feeds and everything. So the reason why I'm making this video also is because to relate on the last couple president speeches on Hillary going off about the cyber attacks being from Russia, and she's basically trying to point the finger on them without knowing anything, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It's absurd. It makes no sense. And I mean, look at this map up over here where the mouse pointer is. I mean, this is Russia. Look at what's going on. This is Russia, all right? I looked up the time, and right now it's around 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Russia. So it's not like it's 2, 3 in the morning. Everyone's sleeping. You know, the majority of Russia is up and awake. And look at this. Just nothing there. Just absolutely nonsense. Just nothing. And I think it's just bullshit on how multiple times during presidential election speech that's live, you know, the biggest debates in history, you know, who knows how many Americans tuned into it, as well as people all over the world, and she's over here spouting off in every damn election, it's Russia, blah, 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 Russia, and they're trying to sabotage and all this other nonsense. Well, quite frankly, the truth of it is she's just pissed off that WikiLeaks is exposing all of her emails, exposing her lies, and, you know, exposing truth to all the American citizens. So, I mean, that's basically the summary of it, is she's just all pissed off that she's getting caught red-handed with all of her crooked stuff that she's been doing. And, you know, she's just trying to point the finger at somebody else and, you know, trying to take the attention off of it. So I thought that's just absolutely nonsense. And in one of her speeches on the last debate, she's talking about other people doing these cyber attacks and that America will not put up with it, and something about the U.S. And the government is going to stand up for the people and the safety of people. Well, the ironic part about that is that she's doing completely the opposite. You know, she's hanging a stick of food out in front of a bear. You know, I mean, Russia is a very big country with a lot of power and military power like us. It even has more than us. So for her to be blaming Russia, pointing her finger on stuff like that, with all the other increased tensions that she's been doing to start with Russia, is basically putting all of us innocent Americans that want peace in jeopardy and in risk for the stuff that she's saying about Russia. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm just sick and tired of all this nonsense. I mean, we've been looking at this map for 4 or 5 minutes now, and not one damn thing has came out of Russia. So, I mean, what does that tell you there? And I mean, there may be a lot of people that just watch the election and nothing else. And you know, who knows? Maybe people took her word for it, and people think, you know, that was the reason of where they're coming from, and all this other stuff that she's saying. So it's just it's sad. It's sad to see how everything's going nowadays. I mean, let's zoom in here a little bit on the United States, and quite frankly, the majority out of this whole map of stuff that's, you know, going in or out is the United States. And the majority of the stuff going into the United States, if you look at it, or that's going on in the United States, is coming from the United States. So it's just people, you know, on the West Coast shooting over to the East Coast, people on the East Coast shooting over the West Coast. So, I mean, majority of this stuff that's going on is all in-house. You know, it's all here. And if you look up here, you know, there's a whole bunch of it right up there by New York and, you know, all over there in that area. A little bit down here in San Diego, a little bit right here, maybe LA. Oh no, that's probably the Bay Area. And then a lot of activity right up here. So that's that map. So you guys got a little bit of a live feed on what's going on. Right now it is 8 o'clock on Sunday, so even 8 o'clock on a Sunday, look at all the activity that we've got going on over here and shooting off over there and all of that. So the next one, here's one that's similar, just a little bit different. But look at down here in the bottom, right here, where it's listing all of these things. I mean, that thing is just going like crazy, non-stop, just bam, 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 bam. And it's all the stuff that's getting shot across to, you know, the location. And if you look at it, let me zoom in here, most all of them, what do they say? United States, United States, United States, United States, China, China. You know, that's basically what most of them are, is all in-house United States, a little bit of China, you know. But where's Russia? Do you see Russia? Where's Russia? I don't see it. I don't think you guys see it either. So just absolute ridiculous. So the last one that I've got here is one more of them. Okay, this one is kind of frozen up a little bit. Let me try to refresh it here. I want to show you guys something on this one. So with this one, you can click whatever area that you want. So we're going to go over here to United States and we're going to click it, right? So gives you a little bit of the details of a summary of the past week, the types of cyber attacks and hacking that was done in a breakdown, bot communication, malicious file, and so on. But what I saw that kind of backs up the proof that I was discussing a second ago is right here. Most frequent attacking country, United States, on itself. Big surprise, you know, pretty much what was expected. So anything that is going to be upcoming, which I'm sure there's going to be something upcoming before these elections, and I'm sure they're going to try to pull some scheme off or some false flag. don't believe the news. You can't believe the media because it's not true. It's gonna end up being in-house, the United States doing it themselves. So that's basically, the summary of what's going to happen.
Are very clearly quoting from WikiLeaks, and what's really important about WikiLeaks is that the Russian government has engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people, of institutions. Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet. This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself, in an effort, as 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed, to influence our election. So I actually think the most important question of this evening, Chris, is finally, will Donald Trump admit and condemn that the Russians are doing this and make it clear that he will not have the help of Putin in this election, that he rejects Russian espionage against Americans, which he actually encouraged in the past. Those are the questions we need answered. We've never had anything like this happen in any of our elections before.
That was a great pivot off the fact that you want open borders. Okay.
Quoting from WikiLeaks, and what's really important about WikiLeaks is that the Russian government has engaged in espionage against Americans.
I mean, are you guys kidding me? I mean, you guys are hearing this just like I am. The Russian government has engaged in espionage. I mean, this is just full-blown nonsense.
This is criminal behavior that violates centuries of tradition of peaceful democratic elections. A campaign like Clinton's that will incite violence is truly a campaign that will do anything to win. And a candidate like crooked Hillary Clinton, who will lie to Congress, lie to the FBI, destroy 33,000 emails, put her office up for sale, and put our confidential information in the reach of our enemies, is a candidate who is truly capable of anything, including voter fraud. In addition, it was just learned that Hillary Clinton was given the exact questions to a previous debate, word for word, by Donna Brazile, who is now under tremendous pressure to resign from the DNC, as she should be. She should resign. How can a woman do that? That is cheating at the highest level. But I ask you, why shouldn't Hillary Clinton resign from the race? She was given, think of it, she was given these questions. She used these questions, studied the questions, got the perfect answer for the questions, and never said that she did something that was totally wrong and inappropriate. Hence the name Crooked Hillary.